Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a huge question, maybe one of the biggest questions in the workplace. What is that secret sauce? The thing that actually gets people fired up to do their best work. All right, let's jump in and try to solve this puzzle together. So let's start with a question for you. Really think about it for a second. What gets you out of bed on a Monday morning? Is it the paycheck that hits your bank account? Is it getting that great job from your boss? Or is it that feeling you get when you finally crack a really tough problem? Whatever it is, hold that thought. We're going to see how it fits into the bigger picture. Okay, so when scientists talk about motivation, this is what they mean. It's not just one thing. It's really three things working together. First, you've got intensity. That's how hard you're trying. Then there's direction. Are you putting that effort toward the right goal? And finally, persistence. How long can you keep it up when things get tough? It's the engine that powers everything we do. To really get where we are today, we have to go back in time. We need to look at the original maps that people used to navigate this stuff. Think of these as the classic theories, the first drafts that shaped how we thought about motivation for decades. They're super important, but as you're about to see, they're not the whole story. And what's kind of wild is that these three foundational theories, the ones that were in every textbook, all popped up around the same time, right in the 1950s. For generations, this was the bedrock of how managers were taught to think about their people. The pyramid. I bet you've seen this one before. Maslow's idea was beautiful in its simplicity, right? He said, we're all climbing this ladder of needs. Once you've got food and shelter, you start worrying about safety. Once you're safe, you need friends and belonging. Then you need respect. And finally, you reach for your full potential. It's a fantastic idea, but here's the thing. Modern research just doesn't really back it up. It turns out we're not quite that simple. Now, Herzberg came at this from a totally different angle. His big breakthrough was realizing that the things that make you hate your job are completely separate from the things that make you love your job. Think about it. Bad company policies or a horrible boss will make you dissatisfied. But fixing those things doesn't automatically make you satisfied, it just makes you not dissatisfied. To get people truly engaged and motivated, you've got to focus on the stuff in that right-hand column: achievement, recognition, growth. Then you have McClelland, who said, forget the ladders. He argued we're all driven by a unique mix of three basic needs: the need to achieve, the need for power, and the need for affiliation or connection. So unlike Maslow's one-size-fits-all pyramid, this is more like a unique motivational fingerprint for every single person. Someone high in achievement just loves to smash goals, while someone high in affiliation thrives on teamwork. So here's the bottom line on these classic theories. While they gave us a place to start, they are, and this is a direct quote from researchers, of questionable validity today. They're the old hand-drawn maps in a world where we now have GPS. So that leads to the big question, what does that modern GPS look like? So, Section 2, a modern motivation toolkit. Let's move from those old maps to a modern GPS. These contemporary theories give us a much sharper, more accurate, and frankly, more useful set of tools for understanding what makes us tick at work right now. The cool thing about the modern theories is that we can sort them into three main buckets. You've got theories about content, that's the stuff inside you. Then there's context, that's everything around you. And finally, process. That's all about how you think about it all. Let's pull out a key theory from each bucket. This one is a game changer. Self-determination theory says that what we crave most is a feeling of control over our own lives. We want autonomy. Here's a perfect example. Think about a hobby you absolutely love. Now, what if someone started paying you to do it? For a lot of people, that fun hobby suddenly starts to feel like an obligation, and some of that pure joy just evaporates. That's because the feeling of control, of autonomy, is a ridiculously powerful motivator. Okay, now let's do a complete 180. Reinforcement theory couldn't care less about your inner feelings or your need for autonomy. It's pure behaviorism. The idea is simple. What gets rewarded gets repeated. That's it. If you do something and get a good consequence, like a bonus or a compliment, you're probably going to do it again. It's a very straightforward look at how consequences shape what we do.
All right, pop quiz. Here's a number: 4. This is how many things a well-set goal can do to seriously boost your performance. Any guesses? Take a second. What could they be?
And there you have it, according to goal-setting theory, which is one of the most rock-solid ideas in all of management. Giving someone a specific, difficult goal is like a superpower. It focuses their attention, it makes them try harder, it pushes them to keep going when they hit a wall, and it even forces them to come up with smarter ways to work. All right, Section 3, the fairness factor. We've got all these incredible tools now,
But there is one universal rule that underpins everything. It's a factor that can either supercharge all of these other ideas or make them completely useless. We're talking about fairness. This all comes down to a concept called organizational justice. And it's not about one single decision, like who got the promotion. It's about a person's overall feeling, their gut perception of whether things are fair at work. And that feeling, that perception, is the foundation that everything else is built on. But fairness is a slippery word, right? It turns out it has 4 specific parts. There's distributive justice, that's the what. Did I get the outcome I deserved? Then there's procedural justice, the how. Was the process to decide that outcome fair? And then you have informational and interpersonal justice. Was I given a good explanation? And was I treated with respect? You need all 4 for people to really feel that sense of justice. And this is the absolute key takeaway. You can design the perfect job with tons of autonomy, set amazing, inspiring goals, and have a great reward system. But if people feel that the system is fundamentally unfair, that the goal is rigged, all of that great work will fall apart. Motivation just cannot survive in an environment of perceived injustice. Fairness is the bedrock. Okay, we've been on quite a journey. We started with those old maps from the 1950s, upgraded to a modern GPS, and then discovered the one rule of the road that changes everything: fairness. So now, let's put it all together. Let's build a practical blueprint that you can actually use. So here it is, your 5-point plan. First, foster autonomy. People need to feel like they're in the driver's seat. Second, harness the incredible power of goals. Make them specific and challenging. Third, lead by example. Remember that people watch what their leaders do. Fourth, don't forget rewards. They still work, they're just not the whole story. And finally, the big one. Prioritize fairness in absolutely everything, because without it, the other 4 don't stand a chance. So we end where we started, but with a whole new set of tools. You now have a blueprint for motivation that's built on decades of real science. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it? Looking at this blueprint, what is the one thing you'll change tomorrow about how you approach motivation, either for yourself or for your team?